And so were the first societies to affirm universal human rights.
It was a change in Judeo-Christian values that that put an emphasis on universal human rights. Like seriously, this is the same guy that will bitch about humanism, but then claim the high ground on universal human rights? You're delusional, Prager.
To emancipate women.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Well, hello, heathens. How are you guys doing today? As you guys can tell above, we are going to be debunking the PragerU video that came out. I think it was either today or maybe it was yesterday or something. I'm not sure. PragerU is Dennis Prager's university, I guess. I don't know if it's actual physical university or if it's kind of like those online ministries. You just make some shit up and boom, you've got a university. So I don't know if it's just a university in name or what. If you know, let me know in the comments down below. But he put out a video today where he's talking about moral relativism and just morality in general. Just to preface, I am a moral relativist. All right, I think that all morals that we derive are relative to the time period that we're in and the society that we're in, the region of the country, and like there's a whole bunch of other different things that factor into it. But basically, I don't think that there's like objective right and wrong. But the reason why I am doing a PragerU video is because Prager University, or whatever the fuck it is, puts ads on my videos on YouTube. And of course, whenever I stream here, I eventually cut it up and put it up on YouTube. I thought that it would be really funny if I debunked a PragerU video, put it on my channel, and then had PragerU ads run and make me money on my channel while I debunk the fuck out of it. So that's not the only reason why I'm doing it tonight. It's a bullshit video. Alright, PragerU.com. I wonder if you've got to bring your own paper in order to print out your doctorate there, or if they supply it.
Do you believe that good and evil exist?
No. Thanks, folks. I'm here all night. No. Okay. So, good and evil are relative terms. If you think about any time period that we have in history, we have our own definitions of good and evil of those times. And really, good and evil are spiritual terms, while more secular terms would be right and wrong. But even then, we have our own internal moral standard that we set for ourselves. And that internal standard is based on societal norms and a bunch of other sociology, economy, and all of those other factors factor into what we deem to be right and wrong.
The answer to this question separates Judeo-Christian values from secular values.
No, it doesn't. It does. That's bullshit. It's bullshit to draw that false dichotomy there, because it's spiritual and secular. Like that's the dividing line. It's not Judeo-Christian values. It's religious or spiritual values versus secular values. Good and evil. And all in all, they're both relative terms. You have to have some kind of standard in which to judge them by. For Judeo-Christian values, you have the Bible to judge it by, and even then, that differs within Judeo-Christian religions, or denominations, rather. But then you also have, like, Jews, and then you've got the Muslims and Islam. So you have these standards in which you judge good and evil, right and wrong by.
Let me offer the clearest possible example.
Please do. I would love a clear example. Like, if you could get it as clear as fucking mud, I think you'd be doing good.
Murder.
Okay. I have to be honest. When he says murder, I can't help but to think of this particular clip from The Office.
R is among the most menacing of sounds. That's why they call it murder and not muck duck.
Okay, too many different words.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I just can't. Like, it's like, is murder bad? Well, obviously, it's not called muck duck, so it's called murder. But let's see where it's going with this.
Is murder wrong?
Is murder wrong? It's kind of a complicated subject, I would say. Of course, in our current time period, we would say, yes, Of course, murder is wrong. If you want to have a if you want to have a productive society, you want to outlaw murder. You want to make sure those that do murder are restrained and taken out of society and put somewhere where they can't keep murdering people. So for a modern society, yes, murder is wrong. Now, you roll back the tide a little bit to where things were a little bit loosey-goosey, like, for instance, the Caribbean in the 1800s, or maybe the Wild West in the 1800s. Like, these places that were on the edge of civilization, murder wasn't wrong. Like, you could cap a motherfucker in the street, and you wouldn't be jailed or anything. Like, I'm just saying that it depends on the time period you're in and where you're at. Over in Africa right now, I'm sure you could get away with murder in some portions of Africa. Like, depending on who you are in the community, you could shoot somebody in the street. If memory serves, apparently Donald Trump supporters would allow him to shoot somebody in the street, and they would be fine with it. Where is this "is murder wrong" thing then? They would still support him, he murdering somebody in the street? That doesn't sound like Judeo-Christian values.
Evil? Nearly everyone would answer yes, but now I will pose a much harder question. How do you know?
Okay, good. Thank you, Prager, for asking this question. How do you know? Well, I know because our society is set up that way, saying, hey, you can't just go out and murder somebody. No matter how much you want to, you can't do it. So there's one factor in it. Another factor is that we have empathy. Like, I don't want to go out and kill somebody because I don't want them to try to kill me back. Now, you get the perfect person in the right position to where they either know they won't get killed or are very confident that they can protect themselves. They're going to kill people. Or you get somebody that doesn't give a fuck. But when he asks, like, how do you know, he's going to point to the Bible as the moral foundation that he's referencing. And that's just utter bullshit because, of course, you have people that are Christian that do bad things. But the reason why is because you have these Christians that have different opinions as to the standard in which defines Judeo-Christian value. Or they don't give a fuck.
I'm sure you think murder is wrong.
I do.
But how do you know? If I asked you how you know that the Earth is round, you would show me photographs from outer space or offer me...
Nah! The Earth ain't round. It's flat and hollow at the same time. Also, the moon was brought here 11,000 years ago, so you can take that shit and get fucked.
Measurable data. But what photographs could you show? What measurements could you provide that prove that murder or rape or theft is wrong?
Okay, things like that, like murder, rape, theft, those kinds of, like, proving that those things are wrong are abstract concepts, but they are concepts that are human. Like they're human constructs. Like, the idea of murder is a human construct. You wouldn't say a bear fucking murdered a beehive or bees, or let's see, let's take a better one. So you wouldn't say that a lion would be murdering an antelope, right? You wouldn't say the lion murdered no, the lion hunted and killed the fucking antelope so it could survive. So, I mean, there is a difference there in that, humans sometimes kill without the need to survive or whatnot, but most of the time they're killing for a reason. So if you could boil it down to just there's a reason why that murder happens. Unless you're like psychopathic, sociopathic. These are human constructs. Murder, rape, theft. They're human constructs. And so in order for us to prove that they're wrong, it's not going to be with a fucking camera or a goddamn protractor. I'm not going to measure the length of how fucking bad rape is. I'm not going to draw a compass around like how bad murder is, and I'm definitely not going to measure the length of like how fucked you are if you steal something. Like those aren't things that you do.
The fact is, you can't. There are scientific facts, but without God, there are no moral facts. In a secular world,
there are no moral facts without God. So you mean to tell me that we need God in order to describe some kind of human construct? Way to go for not making any kind of fucking sense in that particular sentence. We can have moral values. We do have moral standards, even though they are relative. Our societies are based around these standards. We create new standards when we set new bars or whatnot, or new standards, by our laws, how we govern each other. That's how we set new standards. And that's how we determine moral, what is moral, what isn't.
Only be opinions about morality. They may be personal opinions or society's opinions, but only opinions.
Okay, but I get that you want to say that. But you have to understand, Prager, that even Christianity is dictated by society's opinion on what's moral. Just take, for instance, the Southern Baptists in America. At one point, they were the main proponents for slavery and for keeping, slaves subjected, or not slaves, but African Americans subjected, to oppression. Like, they were at the heart of it. Like, they were using God in order to argue for slavery and oppression of the African American community. Okay? So, what happened when the civil rights movement came around is that they either had to change or die. Well, I guess just kind of, mute themselves a bit, because they're still around. If you look at Steven Anderson out in Tempe, Arizona, he's a Southern Baptist. Like, that, they're still around. There are people that still think like him. And you can tell just in his sermons and how much hate he preaches. He's actually moved away from the whole slavery bit and how black people should be oppressed. He's moved away from that because guess what? You can't be like that and be accepted into our society. Just look at Westboro Baptist. They're in no way, like, if you could point out the black sheep or the fucking Christians, it wouldn't be the Mormons, it'd be the fucking Westboro Baptist.
Every atheist philosopher I have read or debated on this subject has acknowledged that if there is no God, there is no objective morality.
All right, I have a problem with this line. If there is no God, there is no objective morality. I would say that this is bordering on taking it out of context, because just because there's no objective morality doesn't mean that there's no morality or that there's no right, wrong, good, or evil. It just means that you're honest about where our morals are derived from. And to say that your morals are objective, and because what objective means is that it applies everywhere, throughout time. And so I would say that you're bullshitting your entire audience here when you say this, because there's no way that Christian morality can ever be considered objective. Just with slavery alone, but you also take the women's rights movement, and you take the LGBT movement. You fucks hate them people. Sorry, you hate the sin, not the sinner. All the while your priests are fucking little kids in the back room.
Judeo-Christian values are predicated on the existence of a God of morality.
No, they're not. They're not predicated on that. Like, the morals that they specify are not. The morals existed way before Christianity existed. So I don't even know why you're throwing this piece of bullshit in here.
In other words, only if there is a God who says murder is murder wrong. Otherwise, all morality is opinion.
Oh, man. Did he literally just say that there has to be a God to, like whatever God says it's wrong, then it's definitely wrong? Well, I can tell you what right now, Prager. In the 10 Commandments, it does not say, thou shalt not fuck little kids. Like, it doesn't say that at all. So I guess because God didn't specifically say, don't fuck little kids in his book, it must be perfectly fucking fine for us to go around and fuck kids. Isn't that right?
The entire Western world, what we call Western civilization, is based on this understanding.
No, it's not. It's based on previous societies and cultural stuff, cultural concepts and all that. That doesn't mean that it's based on, like, entire Western civilization is based on the understanding that, morality comes from God. I mean, I get that people believe that back then, but that's not the reason why they didn't go around killing motherfuckers. That's the disjoint in this particular statement here. I'm not saying that it wasn't a fact that people believe that. I'm saying that that's not where morality is derived from.
Now, let me make two things clear.
Step back. He's about to clarify himself, honey. He's going to clarify the fuck out of himself. He's going to clear this shit right up.
First, this doesn't mean that if you don't believe in God, you can't be a good person.
Thank fucking Christ. I was really worried there. I was going to have to go out, kill a bitch, and then rape her daughter, and then steal a motorcycle, and fucking shoot a cop. I thought that that's what was going to happen after this, because I can't be a good person, because I don't believe in God.
There are plenty of kind and moral individuals who don't believe in God and Judeo-Christian values. But the existence of these good people has nothing to do with the question of whether good and evil really exist if there is no God.
I think that he fucked up on his editing there, because he kind of jumbled. Either he had a stroke mid-sentence, or he jumbled up his fucking words. But what he's trying to get across is that just because atheists can be good doesn't mean that God doesn't exist, and that moral objective morality doesn't exist. So I would agree. But I don't think anybody's making this particular point. Like, I feel like this is a straw man argument to say that people are making this point, and by him bringing it up would suggest that people are.
Second, there have been plenty of people who believed in God who were not good people.
Example, Catholics that fuck little kids. So just pointing that out there. Also, God didn't say don't fuck kids.
Indeed, more than a few have been evil.
Oh, they be evil. I don't think that priests are going around wearing their horns out, you know. I'm just saying. I wouldn't call them evil. I would say they were bad people. And they definitely did things to fuck over society in general.
And have even committed evil in God's name. The existence of God doesn't ensure people will do good.
True. And I don't think that anybody's making that particular argument. Mainly what people say is that, well, if your book is so good, then, why do these good Christians over here still do bad things? If there's objective morality and they're like perfect Christians, why are they still doing these bad things? Because in society, at least in American society, they attribute Christian to good, wholesome boy. Here locally, a guy, I think it was in Tennessee, he was characterized as a Jesus freak, and lo and behold, he kidnapped a 15-year-old girl going off to fuck her, and I think there's still an Amber Alert out for her. I don't know what's happened to her, but he was a good boy Jesus freak. Everybody thought they do was fine, and he kidnaps a girl. So people automatically attribute this whole good person nature to people just because they're Christian, and that is where the argument lies.
I wish it did. The existence of God only ensures that good and evil objectively exist and are not merely opinions.
But they are opinions. They're opinions of the people that wrote your book. Did you know that at one point, like 1st and 2nd Maccabees, or 1 and 2 Maccabees, whatever, they're in the Jewish Torah. They were actually in the Bible. Yeah, they're in the Catholic Bible too. So you're saying that it objectively exists, but yet you're using a book that is relatively relevant. If I can even use that phrase, I don't even know if that's a fucker phrase or not.
Without God, we therefore end up with what is known as moral relativism.
Oh shit, honey, moral relativism. We're about, everything's going down right now. Like there's gonna be riots in the streets all because it's morally relative and everybody has fucking opinions because everybody else also has assholes. And opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. But I like how he's using his own opinion about objective morality to say that moral relativism is bad and that morals aren't opinions. Like, he's using his own opinion to say that there's no opinion in it. How fucked up is that? Like, that's a total mindfuck. It's like opinionception or something.
Meaning that morality is not absolute, but only relative to the individual or to the society.
They are, though. I mean, how can you be serious right now as a Christian and think that it's not relative to the individual or to the society when your own religion has multiple denominations which actually have differing moral standards? Like, do you get the hint that I'm putting down here? Like, I get that you want to deny that it's objective, or that it's relative, and you want to say that it's objective, but it's really all opinion based.
Without God, the words good and evil are just another way of saying I like and I don't like.
Well, no. I would characterize good as being something that positively contributes to society, and then evil as being something that that negatively affects society and hurts people around you. So good would be productive to society, productive to people around you, productive to yourself, but in all of those things, not just productive to yourself. But in evil could be productive to yourself, but it's also hurtful to those around you, hurtful to society, which is oddly enough the exact same way that I would characterize right and wrong.
If there is no God, the statement murder is evil is the same as the statement I don't like murder.
I don't like murder. Like there are people that do like murder, and they're psychopaths. Sociopaths don't give a shit if they murder you or if somebody dies because of them. And you know, you stating it like I don't like murder, you sound sociopathic, and that's not indicative of the entire like the majority of the population.
Now, many will argue that you don't need moral absolutes. People won't murder because they don't want to be murdered.
Like, of course, people don't murder because they don't want to be murdered. I mean, that's part of empathy, but it's also because, you know, it's part of a functioning society. Like, if someone doesn't have the capacity to murder somebody, chances are, now I'm not saying 100%, I'm saying that a majority of the time they're not going to go on a fucking murdering spree. I think that it would take a very big action in their life in order to change them fundamentally like that. But, you know, to totally disregard empathy in this is just wrong. Like, you're basically telling me right now that Christians are sociopathic, and the only reason why they don't go out and murder people is because God tells them to. Yeah, Casey's right. That is right. Christians are sociopaths. Some of them are psychopaths. Beware.
But that argument is just wishful thinking.
Wishful thinking. He calls it wishful thinking. The man that decides to defeat death by pretending that it doesn't exist is calling that wishful thinking. Let that sink in for a minute.
Hitler, Stalin, and Mao didn't want to be murdered.
Okay, Hitler, Christian. The other two were atheists, but they weren't atheists, or they weren't killing people in the name of atheism. Atheism has no doctrine, no connecting like manuscripts or anything like that. An asshole is going to be an asshole. This is a perfect example of it, because you got one asshole, two asshole, three assholes here that murdered a bunch of people.
But that hardly stopped them from murdering about 100 million people.
Oh, fuck. You know, I'm restraining a Jew joke right now, but you know, still, this doesn't mean that objective morality exists, or that society without God results in just pure chaos and murder.
It is not a coincidence that the rejection of Judeo-Christian values in the Western world by Nazism and communism.
Whoa, honey, did you know the man that had Gott mit uns embroidered like on the belts and on the uniforms and on all of the military regalia of his army was tossing out Judeo-Christian values? Did you know this shit? You did? I mean, Gott mit uns means God with us in German. So I don't see how he's throwing out Judeo-Christian values. I would love for you to know. Also, another hint is the fact that he was like blessed or something by the Pope. What was it? I mean, he was never excommunicated. The church is still not excommunicating his ass, even though he's been dead for a while. Or he lives in the Hollow Earth and he's down there with the aliens and the reptilians, seeking to take over America by using Trump. Teach all the possible theories, people.
Led to the murder of all these innocent people. It is also not a coincidence that the first societies in the world to abolish slavery, an institution that existed in every known society in human history, were Western societies rooted in Judeo-Christian values.
Motherfucker just said that Judeo-Christian values is what destroyed slavery. Motherfucker, half of the Bible is rooted in slavery. Even Jesus himself said that he wasn't here to erase any part of the law. He came there to fulfill the law. So, I mean, it was very plain that Jesus was okay with fucking slaves. So I don't understand where you're coming from with this. It was actually a change in the norm of Judeo-Christian values that prompted the end of slavery.
And so were the first societies to affirm universal human rights.
It was a change in Judeo-Christian values that put an emphasis on universal human rights. Like seriously, this is the same guy that will bitch about humanism, but then claim the high ground on universal human rights? You're delusional, Prager.
To emancipate women.
Oh, okay. Hold on. All right. So, Prager, you want to say that it's the equality of women? Let's see. Seems right here it says Jesus' husband, then wife. That doesn't seem fucking equal to me, does it? It looks like the wife is directly under the fucking husband there. These are traditional Christian values there, Prager. I don't know where you're getting this whole equality shit from at all.
And to proclaim the value of liberty.
Whoa. Proclaim the value of liberty? The Bible doesn't have any fucking thing to do about liberty unless you're talking about the liberty of the Jews. And in that respect, I mean, God will do anything to subjugate others in order to give them liberty. So it's not real liberty. It's not real universal human rights. It's human rights for the Jews or the chosen people. Not to unfairly pick on the Jews here. I'm just saying that the first half of the Bible, that's what it's about.
Today, the rejection of Judeo-Christian values and moral absolutes has led to a world of moral confusion.
We're not morally confused. You just disagree. Your opinion disagrees with the change in our social norms and our moral values. See how that works there, Prager?
In the New York Times in March 2015, a professor of philosophy confirmed this. He wrote, "What would you say if you found out that our public schools were teaching children that it is not true that it's wrong to kill people for fun? Would you be surprised? I was."
What? I don't even know what he's talking about. My gut instinct here is that he's talking about abortion, and that's not killing people. That's not killing babies. That's discontinuing a fetus from growing into a baby. So, what would I say? Well, I would say, no, son, that's not true. I need to have a talk with your teacher because she's dumb as shit. I mean, I need to have a talk with your teacher, son. Septivum said, what fucking school is that? And I have to agree. I don't know what kind of school would be teaching kids that it's okay that it's not wrong to kill people for fun. Like, if anything, in school, that is one thing that you're taught is to not transgress against your classmates. So I don't even know what he's talking about here. It seems like he's just making shit up at this point.
The professor then added, "The overwhelming majority of college freshmen view moral claims as mere opinions."
Because they are. I mean, they are. They're just their opinions. We have some standard things that we have in our society now that shape our moral values. But, I mean, those tend to change with time, and you can see that.
So then, whatever you believe about God or religion, here is a fact.
Oh, shit. He's breaking out the facts, baby. He's breaking out, well, they may be alternative facts. We don't need to count our alternative facts before they hatch into lies.
Without a God who is the source of morality.
Yeah, this is alternative fact. AKA a lie.
Morality is just a matter of opinion.
Okay. Even with a God, it's still a matter of opinion. You know how I know that it's still a matter of opinion? Because different religions exist. and their opinions on the supernatural part of the world, which is to say it's not part of the world, because the natural is all that this world is. So supernatural just, it doesn't, you can't detect it in reality. Just saying.
If you want a good world, the death of Judeo-Christian values should frighten you.
Judeo-Christian values do frighten me, too, considering the fact that you have to be told by a supernatural entity, or AKA some other motherfucker, not to kill other people. Like, you can't just use your own empathy module in your brain and figure that shit out on your own. Like, oh, if I want a productive society, maybe I shouldn't kill Scott down the street. I mean, like you have to be told by your magic sky daddy to not kill a motherfucker. Which, honestly, you would probably raise your eyebrows at him, because, like, didn't you, like, flood the earth and make us all, like, repopulate it over, incest? Like, you made us fuck our sisters and our cousins. God. I don't know why you made us do that. Maybe it was some kind of weird porn thing and you were just in your fetish phase, but...
I'm Dennis Prager.
Of course you are. This course was made possible by... This is a course? I took the entire course. Did I fail? I think that if you fail out of the Prager University... How can you be a Prager University Foundation? How can you be both a university? Is that like a thing? Can you be like a university and a foundation? Normally universities are made up of several different colleges. I wonder what colleges are made up in Prager University. I'm kind of curious. Is there like a college of Christian studies, and then there's like a college of, I don't know, how not to be Muslim? I don't know. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate everybody joining me tonight. We've actually got the Daily Bible Podcast coming back this week. It's going to be posting tomorrow. So I hope that you can join us for that. And I will see you guys later. Y'all have a wonderful night. Don't forget to stand up, use your voice, and all that good jazz. And I will see you heathens later.